Hi guys, this is Wenzes from Below the Radar Above the System, and today's topic is the dynamic between the second and the third function. For INFJs, this is FE versus TI, but what I'm talking about here is applicable to all kinds of personality types, all of them, and I've made this experience and really study this, and I think it's important to share it so we can all understand it. I think if you look at the internet the last year, especially the last probably months, there's been this huge wave of use your FE, don't understand you're an artist, don't really think of yourself as a TI person, and that we have TI as something that is kind of hindering us from being ourselves. But I think it doesn't go far enough, to be honest with you, because somebody telling me, oh, you need to apply your FE, you need to play, you need to go out there. Yeah, it's true. It's completely true. But there's a reason why we haven't done it. There's something we want to do it, but there's a reason why we don't allow ourselves to do that. And I think it is important to know that you have to go that direction, but you have to understand what is keeping you from it and how this whole dynamic plays out. Because the thing is this, we need struggle in order to thrive and not just, survive, to really feel accomplished. And I'm also going to talk about it in the next video, but TI for us is like our hidden motive. It's something we love to do. It's also something we like. Yeah, we like to get to make an impact also through our third function. That's how it is. Like really making an impact only through your second function is not really satisfying, because at some point you understand that this is, it's not enough, and it's always been like this. I mean, if you look at other personality types, let's say you look at ESTPs. Very often they have this urge to be recognized by society, as in, to be liked, which is FE, their third function. It's there. Or ENFJs or ENTJs, you'll see them that they wanna make an impact or want to be recognized for their third function, which is SE. They want people to feel them as strong, and this mainly comes from the point that the third function is not strong for us, but it's still something we want to do. We have an urge for it, and what we mainly do, if we don't think about it, and if we're not consciously planning out how to manage our life and so on, we try to get all our needs met, our FE needs, our TI needs, and we try to do those to get those needs met by only living within our first function, which is NI. And let me elaborate this. So, we say the dual to INFJ is the ESTP. ESTPs kind of can make it easy for an INFJ because they take care of the SE part. You have somebody around you who's a strong SE, and you're kind of like a team, a couple, or friends, or so on, and you're really glad when somebody takes care of that part for you, as in, being forceful and saying, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's not so much only force, but it's also having a view where I'm gonna go with my life. And you kind of wanna use your TI to understand how this other person functions. So, you absorb all of who that person is through your NI, which is your main thing. Then you use TI to make a judgment, not how everybody says, oh, you use FE for a judgment. First of all, you make a judgment with TI, as in understanding who that person is. You build a system, that kind of judgments. You build a system, you understand how that person is, how they function, and then you put out FE, you put out your understanding of what that person wants, and you can give it to them and really make them feel good. make them feel valued, bring them harmony, and so on. And it's very specific to that one person. And it is that way because, as I said, normally we think that we are an I. This is who we are. And very often we kind of feel bad for using FE to be liked, to gain an advantage, because we feel we are, we're introverts, we're an I. And then at the same time, we wonder why there are people who only want or who think they need this external validation to have their needs met. For example, an ESTP or an ENFJ, which are also in the same quadrant. So let's say you have an ENFJ friend and they're unhealthy, and I'm just taking this as an example because I think when we stay too much in that first function, we do get unhealthy, and I've recognized that with my I. But I saw that person and all they cared about is how everybody around them views them, and pretty much saying, okay, they made like a system with FE. This is how life's supposed to be. This is what's considered good and this is what's considered bad. And I'm gonna play by those rules, and then I'm gonna get liked. I'm gonna get all that FE that I crave, and leading dominant extroverted feelings come through that. Like they have that in them. That's what they're really good at. They're really good at getting exactly those needs met, and everybody needs that. People always say, oh, but those people want people to like them and so on. It's just that everybody wants that. It's just they are really good at understanding what society wants, what everybody around them like really needs, and how they can create this harmony. And then through that, applying that, they really want to get all of their needs met. But the problem comes at a point where they also want to be, they have like a kind of, they're not as strong in their introverted side as we are in our extroverted side. So they pretty much think all they are is what they do in the outside world. They lack, if they're unhealthy, an understanding of I'm worthy just by being myself, by the way I think, by the way I feel, by the way I see the world. That makes me lovable, and that's also a part of me. They have a problem accepting that part, and so they don't want to be liked for that part because they don't think that that's really something what they are. They just think that's something that they do because they're not that invested in it. It's not really part of them how they normally feel. And for us, it's the exact same way, just the opposite. We feel that we're introverts, and what makes us is the way we feel, the way we think, the way we see the world, and not what we do in society, not what we do for others, as in creating some kind of output and so on. And we need to understand that we need both of those parts. Like I'll talk in the next video about having like mastering the interior world and the external world, and how both of those parts are important. But what I'm trying to get is that you need both of those things. You need to kind of like use your NI to put emotions out there, to have an external effect, which is FE, and you also need that TI. Like I understand where people are coming from, saying, you need to play, because we kind of tend to stay only in that TI mode and be very digital. I read it somewhere, I think it was in Personality Hack or something like this, digital, or kind of be not that concerned with outside opinion, or get emotional over things and stuff like this. And we kind of tend to really go far into that area because it's easier for us, and it feels more like us to be really that internal person. So as I said, for example, so we have, in our worst case, or how we idealize things, we need one person that we can absorb through our NI. We can understand what they're thinking, and then we can give them what they want, and because of that they love us, they respect us, and all of that. So that is kind of like the perfect scenario of an INFJ. And we kind of after a while learn that it doesn't make us happy all the way, because such a person doesn't exist. Every person has some kind of some personal values, some personal things that they want, which are not the same for us. So if we do that for other people, we neglect parts of us that are very important, which is feeling proud, feeling accomplished, feeling loved, feeling good about ourselves. And we kind of tend to make ourselves small, so we can give that to other people. So the solution is actually, it came after a while, after I've been thinking about it, and actually just experiencing the pain from all of those things, that you kind of need to create two separate fields where you can get your needs met, and not have like this one person that's supposed to meet a need, like meet all your needs. That's how it's said. So you need to create something which gives you an opportunity to make an impact with your NI and your TI, which is rather digital, which is not that emotional, which is really giving you a possibility of, this is how I see the world, this is how I made a system through my NI, because you have to understand NI is subjective. The way you see the world is just the way you see the world. Not one other INFJ will see the world as you will, and I guarantee you other types won't either, or it's even less likely. So you need to understand that this is very subjective, and if you can use that TI to kind of make a system out of it and kind of help people, it doesn't even have to be people, but have like a way of making an impact through those two things, as in, this is how I see the world, and this is how I'm gonna make it better. I'm going to make it better through understanding the world, through understanding what needs to be done, and through having a vision and really carving a point how to make that vision reality. You have it with other personality types as well. As I said, you have with the ESTP, you have the SE and the FE as a combination, like our NI and TI. And if you are able to get that need met somehow, if you kind of have a place where you can apply yourself with that strength, guess what? You won't have the urge to use that in your personal life. Let me make an example for the ESTP. So you have an ESTP. For an ESTP, doing FE stuff is difficult, like it is for us difficult to do TI stuff. Yes, we do it and we love doing it, but it's not as easy as FE. FE is just the way of being. You don't even have to try, and you don't want and having both of those needs met, FE and TI, for an ESTP through at once is rather hard. So if you have like an ESTP who's able to create an environment where people like him or her, then in their personal life they can really live their SE applied into TI. So I had, my ex-boyfriend was an ESTP, and I think when we were together, we were younger, it was going into a healthy direction, because he was able to there were a lot of people who liked him and so on, and he was very fun and outgoing when he was outside. And when we were together, he didn't have the urge to apply this FE necessarily all the time. He didn't need to. He just like kind of did his TI thing, and I understood who he was and what he does, and he didn't need to be nice to me in that FE manner all the time, because he already got that need met through somebody, through society, through a bigger picture, not through that one person. And so when he could really like let his guard down and really be liked for who he was, he could just kind of use his SE the way he sees the world, have his own system and have somebody who accepts that system. And with us, it's the same way. If we find a way to apply our NI in combination with TI, then in our personal life and our really being just kind of like with friends, with whoever it is, we don't have the urge to like kind of absorb everything that they are and make a system out of it and then give them what they want, because we already have that TI meet net that TI need met. So we can just kind of see, this is how we see the world through our NI, and then put FE out. We allow it to ourselves. We allow it to ourselves because we have already got that one. We've been active, we are struggling, we are being effective, we're doing things through our NITI, we're making a difference, and then we can allow ourselves to like kind of have the easy route within our relationship and be who we are, like kind of paint a picture, make a beautiful life, and not like be so afraid that you bother people. It happens automatically, because normally, since you want this TI need met, you kind of absorb much more. You absorb so much more from other people. You understand, oh, if I would do that, that would make them uncomfortable. If I do that, and so on. And you absorb, trying to get like this TI thing going. And then, of course, what comes out, your FE is already altered. It's already altered because there's like kind of like a thinking thing, there's a system. You do that in order to get something, and you do that in order to make other people feel good. And it's supposed, and now that I'm doing something in that regard, I know I'm making an impact, I know I'm doing like something good and something valuable, I know what I'm doing with my life, I allow myself to like kind of like paint without having to, and I don't even think about how this is going to affect that person or the other person. And this happened because I shifted also like more into that external world, kind of got balanced and so on. And it's an automatic process, as in I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel that I'm bothering somebody with something, not to that an extent. And it's actually good, because that way you put something out and you have a chance to affect people with your worldview. There's a reason you are the way you are, and you're supposed to put that out there, So if you have a chance to like kind of separate those two and have a way to do that one thing and then to do the other thing, you will be much happier. It's a very refreshing and helpful tool, and I think a lot of us neglect it when it can be the solution to everything. And I have also seen it with ENFJs. For example, ENFJs, when they have like a really close relationship with somebody and they haven't done like this kind of switch, and they're not that healthy because of it, then they try to like create an NI picture, and in that NI picture you see how they want to be strong. They want to be strong, they want to have this SE, really it's written all over them. And the solution to everything is use their FE and their SE to make an impact, as in, for example, go into politics, really help people, use their strength and their ambition to kind of like really get stuff moving in the real world. So then when they have a closer relationship, they can really use their FE to create an NI vision, as in making people comfortable, making people, giving people the feeling that they can be themselves whenever. And this is, one of the biggest ENFI strengths, to have that opportunity. And once you have that third function hindering you in that, you get into trouble. And this is with all types like this. Like I made examples now with the beta quadra from socionics, all those personality types that have the same functions as us. With ISTPs, it's the same with TI and I, or TISE. So keep that in mind and really try to find something where you can apply that NITI to make the world better, to make your surroundings better, other people around you better, and then you won't have the urge to like kind of put everything out there at once, and it's yeah, it's a lot nicer, it's a lot more fun, and it makes you a lot happier. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.